the Dodgerification, let's call it, the Dodgerization of the Lakers, where they tried to hire a guy named Steve Senior, who's the assistant GM for the Wolves. Tim Conley is the president of basketball operations for the Wolves and basically the GM. And he works for him. He passed on working for Rob Pelinka, the Dodgers company, group, Zaidi, those guys, and Andrew Friedman, I guess, I would imagine, all reached out, and he turned them down. They're still working on some candidates, I would imagine, to come in and be those. They want 2 assistant GMs. Mm-hmm. And we also found out that Austin Reeves' rehab was done with the Dodgers group.
Yeah, I did read that article. I can't say that I'm necessarily surprised. I mean, let's face it. The Dodgers and the Lakers are now they're one organization, right? I mean, just as an example, with the Seattle Seahawks own the Seattle MLS soccer team, and they play in the same stadium, and they share the same offices, and the PR department for the Seahawks is also the PR department for the soccer team. My point is only this, that when you own 2 teams in the same town, they should work in coordination with one another. And we knew from the beginning that the Lakers front office and the Lakers medical staff and the Lakers from a technology standpoint, the Lakers may be the Los Angeles Lakers, but behind the scenes, they're a mom and pop operation. And frankly, not only were they a mom and pop, meaning a small business, even though it's a multi-billion-dollar business, and they're cheap. That has been the reality of this franchise under this ownership until Mark Walter shows up, buys the team for $10 billion, and goes, now we're going to Dodgerize the Lakers. And that means more front office executives doing more things. That means more technology. It means more training staff, etc. Austin Reeves got to go to Dodger Stadium to rehab because they got better stuff. Probably more people. Maybe better people.
I feel like that's kind of weird. Like, what does it say about the Lakers?
Too. Yes.
The Lakers facilities, right?
Well, that's why the Lakers are moving their G League team out of the facility so that they can say, we focus on the Lakers, not on the minor league team.
Not just that, though. There's extreme revenue by moving it out to Coachella Valley.
I'm sure there is.
That is a very big revenue play of squeezing every dollar you can. And that is, again, the Kings have the Ontario Reign. Right. We now have the Ontario Tower Buzzers out there. Mm-hmm. There is so much money out in the N1 Empire and into the Coachella Valley where there used to be that gap where Lake Elsinore is, where there used to just be nothing. And now it is booming. Yeah. So that's also a huge revenue play. And you get Laker fans out there to come into Laker games because they're committed, and you're seeing the minor leagues out there. And now those guys go to the pros, hopefully, and you're like, oh, let's spend the money to go to an actual Laker game at Crypto.com Arena.
Yeah, and they got that brand new arena out there as well, where the Reign play and now where the Lakers guys will play. Yeah, so there's a lot of great concerts that come out there. I mean, my point is that there are a lot of entertainment dollars available out in the IE. So One Love IE. You hear that, George?
One Love IE.
That's right.
I just think that the Lakers' path of, trying to build for the next several years is not what anyone here signed up for, including Luka Doncic, who's been here for 18 months, and I'm sure is starting to get a little impatient, if I had to guess. You got to build the right team right away, and if it's only a shot for one season, then so be it. And then you kind of go from there, because I just think that if you're going to try to build to against these teams, you're going to need several years. I don't think anyone has that level of patience around here. Not the fans, not the players involved, and I don't even believe if the ownership were being truthful, they understand. I think they understand they can't be that level of patient. I think they have to try to thread the needle of trying to add pieces for the future while also going in full throttle and trying to win as soon as possible, or at least giving yourself the best shot to win as soon as possible.
Well, I would agree,
I
George.
don't envy Rob Pelinka.
Yeah. Well, I just think that to your
point.
Rob
Pelinka, I don't know. I mean, Rob Pelinka there's going to be a lot of eyes on Rob Pelinka. This offseason is going to be a real tell as to how this organization feels about him moving forward, because they're trying to hire GMs or assistant GMs to pair with him. The guy from Minnesota turned them down. I understand why they would go after the guy from Minnesota. Look at what they've been able to accomplish there. In a very short amount of time. They were one of the worst franchises in the sport. They've been to the conference finals in 2 of the last 3 years. They've been deep in the playoffs for 4 straight years, and they've built depth they've built the team the right way. They have their superstar. They've made trades, shrewd trades that have worked, and they've developed. And that's kind of the way you have to do it in the NBA these days. I just think this. I think the biggest question that I think most GM candidates or assistant GM candidates will have is, am I tied to Pelinka or am I tied to this Dodgers group if I'm signing up here? And I think that's something that has to be defined. And even if it's defined, I don't know if people are necessarily going to buy it if it's not to Pelinka. It just feels like Rob and his tenure with the Lakers, and I mean, I don't know, I'd love to hear how you guys think. It just seems like logic says he's not their guy, and it would be only reasonable to wonder if you are tied to him or not. And if you're not, then that's different. But if you are, then you're like, wait, what am I signing up for then? Why would I do that?
I think, Michelle, I want to hear what you think, but George, it's the first time I've heard you say it. It's something that I've obviously been thinking about for a long time. I think a lot of Laker fans are. There's a new ownership group, and they're going to come in and they're going to Dodgerize this franchise. And why would they necessarily be loyal or tied to or care about Rob Pelinka? And now the answer for some people might be, well, because the Lakers gave him a contract extension. Let me tell you something. When somebody knows that they're on their way out and they want to do a friend a favor, Jeannie Buss giving Rob Pelinka a long-term contract extension, that's a favor, because when he gets fired, as most people in those positions do, he's going to get bought out. It'd be a lot easier to just say, oh, you're gone. We don't owe you anything. But if you owe him 3-4 years and you owe him, I'm just making up a number, $25 million, that might have somebody say, well, we don't want to fire him. We don't want to have to pay him. But this group doesn't care. Money grows on trees for these guys. I'm glad to hear you say it because, Michelle, I'm not so sure Rob Pelinka is long for the Lakers.
Well, obviously, you guys know better than I do, boots on the ground there, the intricacies of this organization. But you bring up such a good point about this new ownership group, because not only does money grow on trees for them, but they know how to win. And they're probably not afraid to make a move in order to put the person or people in place that they think is going to get this organization to where it needs to go. So, yeah, wow. I hadn't really thought that he might not be long for the job just because he has been such a staple there for so long. And you think about the contract extension, but with new ownership, it feels like anything is really on the table, right?